Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Om Yata Sarvani Bhutani Pratibhanti Titani Cha Yatreva Pasamamayanti Tasmai Satyatane Jnata Jnanam Tatha Jnayam Drashta Darsana Drishyabhu Karta Hetuः Kriya Jasmat Tasmai Jnapyatane Namaha Sfuranti Sikara Jasmat Ananda Sambare Vano Sarvesam Jivanam Tasmai Brahmanandatane Namaha Brahmanandatane Namaha Vedodadhim Samanamatya Jnanaratnam Samudritam Yena Tasmai Vasithaya Gurunam Gurave Namaha Vashistha Bhagavan ki Jai Sadguru Bhagavan ki Jai Sachidananda Bhagavan ki Jai Sabda Brahma ki Jai Saraswati Maharani ki Jai Yoga Vashistha Bhagavan ki Jai Hari Om. Today we are going to discuss on two questions. And last time also we were discussing on the question put by our Takahashi Mataji, Margaret Mitiko Takahara Takahashi Mataji.
Margaret Mitiko.
Yes. And the other question from Monaco Mataji from Italy. Yeah. Monaco. Monaco. Monaco.
Biscuits.
Biscuit. Monaco Mataji. Monaco Mataji asked about the 4 phases of the sound starts from the heart and expressed outside the mouth, that is audible sound. So the sound starts from the heart, and that is heart is absolutely silent, and that is state of equilibrium. And when it gets disturbed, disturbance is mental, it is not real. Don't forget this point. Everything is mental, only thoughts. There is no reality in it. The sound also is nothing but imbalanced state on the superficial state of the balanced state. Just as we see the very fine ripples on the water surface, because so it is subtler than the earth, and it is so wavering. That's why little disturbance makes it disturbed, unsettled, or imbalanced. That imbalanced state is nothing but vibrations, and vibration is named in different ways. Some people say it is energy, some say it is sound. Sound is energy. Some say it is electricity. Some say it is magnet. Some say it is uh, many ways they name it. But it is nothing but a vibration and imbalanced state. So the moment it starts, it goes on repeatedly, repeating again and again. One vibration gives rise to another wave of vibration. So it should go on. It is a changing process, and it is known as movement or action, or it is growth or changing phenomena, and this is also called nature. Everything one are the same. Imbalanced state can be told in many names, many forms. We see it, and different type of work they perform. So, according to their performance, how do they behave? Sequences, frequencies, frequencies, they differ because it is disturbance. So, in many ways we see it and name it. So, different names of energy, or we call it supreme power, and that is the cause of all the doubts and confusions. They are just imaginary. Why it is called imaginary? Though we see it in reality, there is a disturbance. Disturbance is called imaginary because there is no stagnancy, there is no balance in it. So everywhere, everything is subject to change. So how can we call it something? Whatever we call it,
It will change.
it is changed. So we cannot say anything about it. It is beyond speech. Anyhow, that is our nature, that is our energy, the play of energy. The whole universe is under this. We call it time also, we call it space also, which is ever changing situations, everything. Whatever you utter as a language, it is changing phenomena. So in this way, the whole world, whole creation comes under this. Anyhow, we have to decide how is the sound. Sound also is vibration. Sound vibration. Light also is nothing but vibration. Unsteady state of the absolutely balanced state, that is called light, and that is called nature of the object. light and heat is nature of the fire. In this way, if we understand, the sound also is energy, and it starts from the heart, and when it starts, very minute vibrations which are not observed by the outer gross senses easily. That stage of that vibration, which we call sound, is known as para. Para means absolutely subtle. Subtle, but vibrations are there. Very subtle vibrations. So that is called para. Slowly it grossifies, and then it changes into bigger frequencies, and slowly it is named as another. To somewhat extent it is called Pashyanti. Pashyanti. Somehow or some other, by some means, we can go up to that Pashyanti. That is grosser than Para and subtler than Upansu. When this Pashyanti becomes more gross, that is called Upansu. It comes from the heart through the vocal cord. It comes to the throat and it reaches the mouth. In the mouth, when it gets it strikes against the palates, upper palates, and the inside cheek, and the teeth, and the tongue. So it becomes still more grosser, and we call it Upansu. When the lips are not open, lips are closed, and inside the mouth, whatever we chant, we can hear it ourselves. Others cannot hear it. We can hear our own Upansu sound. So that is called Upansu. Upansu is subtler than Vaikhari, which comes out and becomes audible to everyone, to you also, to others also, and it comes out, takes a grosser form, audible form, and it comes when the lips are open and starts vibrating. Lips start vibrating means they give shape and size to the sound. So accordingly, we chant whatever that sound is, we utter it. Uttering means expressing it outside. So that is called Vaikhari, audible. And audible to yourself, not to others, is called inside sound, is known as Upansu. Subtler than that, going towards the center. Subtler than Upansu is known as Pashyanti, and then subtle most is called Para. Para means the highest state, means the subtlemost state. In this way, we have classified it in different phases, but disturbance is disturbance, vibration is vibration, whether it is subtle or gross. In this way, and when it comes out of the mouth, it is modified or given some shape and size by the palates, upper and lower, by the teeth, by the tongue. They get together, and by the lips. So they get together, they give some shape and size to the waves of the sound, and we call it, somehow we call it language or speaking language or something we say. And almost all the human beings, they chant fast ma, ma. It is easiest to chant ma or daddy, daddy, dad, bappa, bapu, mama, mummy. All these are very easy to utter, so the child speaks fast, daddy, mummy. In this way, the language is spoken out. That's all. According to the different phases, we have named it. Subtlemost, then little grosser than that, then again grosser than the two last phases, prior phases, and the outside audible sound. Audible is Vaikari. Name, you can name yourself as you like. We can name it audible sound instead of Vaikari. You can name it. And Upanshu, within the mouth, it is audible to you. You can hear your own voice, but others cannot because mouth is closed. The lips are not open, so it is not audible to others. That's all. Clear? And language, we can speak a little on language. You see there, that sound, whatever shape it takes, you express it outside, it takes a shape of the sound. Shape of the sound will be shape of the waves of the sound. So we relate the waves of the sound with the object, then it becomes a language. Some object will be there. Object of what? Object of the senses. Some form with some name. So that object is related by this sound. The relationship is made by you or by someone, and many others accept it as the relation is fixed. Then that becomes the language. Suppose water is nothing but sound. and that sound is related with that liquid, and then it is made by someone in the beginning, and many others followed it, accepted it, that relationship of the sound with the object liquid, then it is known as water. The same water, we call it jal in Hindi, Sanskrit toya, bari, ambu, different words are there, and they are related with the same liquid, which others call it water. Some people call it pani, some people call it toya, jal, and it is accepted by a group of followers. So then, for that group of followers, it will be a language. That's all. That's how the language is built. And we give some shape to the sound that becomes alphabets, akshar we call it, alphabet. And those alphabets have particular shape and size.
Why Om is very important for us?
Yes, Om is the primordial sound. The primordial sound, the first sound which was created in the beginning of the creation. That is Om. It comes from the bottom of the heart, and it takes all the support from all the parts of the vocal cord till the mouth. Om. First of all, you have to open the mouth. It should come from the bottom of the heart, and then it comes out, and then the mouth is closed, and by nose it is uttered. O, U, Ma, Mahalat. Or the beginning, the first alphabet of any language. Say English, A, same thing, the vowels. Consonants come afterwards. The vowels come first. O, A, E, U. So O, and then U. U means the leaves will take a shape to throw it out, that sound, and then it closes Ma, half of the Ma. So O, U, Ma. All the vowels and all the consonants, they come under these three. So Om holds all the alphabets in it. So this becomes the seed for all the language. Bijachar.
For all the languages.
For all the language. All the language over the whole universe. Even the animals, even the insects, whatever sound they make, their language they only can understand. And whatever sound they make, it comes under Om. You see, do research on it and find out the truth. Anybody can do research. The whole sound system comes under this. So this is the original sound. And from this angle we see the Om as this. From other angle, this is the first disturbance in the undisturbed absolute truth. So it is called the primordial sound. Sabda Brahma. When the sound starts, then creation starts. So whole creation also is created by this sound. How? Technically, these are the waves of the undisturbed substance matter, that is, we call it the supreme truth, which is the original basement for everything, the causeless cause for everything, because it is one and all pervading. That's why there will not be any other cause for its existence. So it is called causeless cause, one absolute, the supreme one without a second, the absolute singularity without a second. So this is the truth. And when there is some disturbance, because it is absolutely subtle, we see practically, we don't see the earth moving very often. Earth is gross, so it never, of course there is vibration in it, but it never is seen by our gross senses, five senses. They don't see the movement very often on the earth. When only earthquake happens or something, we see very, very rarely. And see, comparatively, the water we see always vibrating, because it is subtler than the gross earth. More it becomes subtle, it becomes more vibrating. And fire never burns steadily. The moment fire burns, there will be wind, and technically, when it burns, there will be heat. So air will be lighter. That means less pressure will be there. So the air goes up, and the cold air little away. It fulfills the place of the space of the hotter air which goes up. So the cycle goes on, and the higher hot air becomes cool when it goes up, and then again it comes down. So the cycle goes on. So wind has to blow. Scientifically, because of pressure, because of subtleness and grossness of air. So fire cannot burn steadily. It is disturbed by the air. And fire is subtler than the water. so it is more flittering. And subtler than the fire is air. So air cannot be steady. Movement is called air. How? The movement of the sky is known as air. When the sky moves, it is named as air. How high sky should move? Because sky is nothing but the gross form of the sound. The nature of the sky, ether, is sound. That means vibrating. It is so subtle, we don't see it. We cannot hold by our gross senses. So we call the sky is steady or not moving. But sky means sound. Sound means movement. So when this sky is seen with movements, that is called air. In this way we can analyze the sky. Subtler than the air is sky. So sky seems to be very, very steady, but in a subtle way, it is always moving. That is known as sound. And subtler than the sky is the thought of the sky. The thought which holds the so-called elementary sky. The thought of the sky holds the sky. Thought is so subtle mode.
Idea sky.
Yes. And then that subtle most thought is aware by yourself. The awareness is aware of the thought of this sky. So that awareness, which we call the truth, which is one, which is aware everywhere, aware of the existence of everything. So that is subtle most. So naturally there will be vibrations.
From the sky has got its own thought. Huh?
Pardon?
Sky has got its own thought.
Sky has no thought, but thought has the sky. How do you know this sky? Without thinking, can you understand what is sky? So the thought holds the sky.
Can we say mind is subtler than the sky?
Mind is subtler than the sky.
Because there where the thought comes.
Yes. But mind has also grossness and subtleness. The subtlemost mind is nothing but equal to subtlemost sound. Mind also is nothing but a vibratory system. And that also starts from the same unvibrated absolute equilibrium, the truth. So mind also is known as karma, actions. Mind is known as creation. Mind is known as maya, illusion. That's why it is uncontrollable. So flittering. And it is, of course, grossly we can say controlled by the wind. When wind vibrates in the brain cells grossly, that is gross mind. Universal mind is subtler than the individual mind. They say our individual gross mind is maybe thousandth time grosser than the universal mind. Universal mind can hold everything. The whole creation is created by the universal mind. So how shall it be? And that whole totality of that universal mind is known as Brahma, the creator. The whole totality of that subtle, most universal mind is known as Brahma, the creator. And the awareness of that universal mind is known as the Param Brahma, the absolute truth. In this way, we can also have some ideas.
That's why, Swamiji, when we look at the sky or water or fire, we get peace.
Yes, because it is more subtle. And subtleness means it is more vibrating, but the frequencies will be subtler. That's why we see it as steadiness. Try to understand this point clearly. Because the vibrations are subtler than the grosser vibrations. So we see it as the steadiness. Our understanding is just ulta, just opposite. We understand everything topsy-turvy. Everything is opposite of what we understand. That's how the pairs of opposites have started. Whatever you understand, you have to understand the opposite one also. Darkness means light. Light means darkness. How? Without relations, without comparing both, you don't understand what is what. Unless you compare your darkness with light, you don't understand what is darkness. Unless you compare light with darkness, you don't understand what is light. Always the comparison goes on so fast inside the mind. You are not grossly aware of it. The comparison goes on. That is called relativity. The whole creation is under the law of relativity. Where there will be two, there will be relationship. One will be dependent on the other. And that's how one will be opposite of the other. So the whole creation is composed by pairs of opposites only. So whatever you understand, you have to understand the opposite also. Then only your understanding will be somewhat nearer to the right understanding. So don't mistake that you understand something. Don't make this mistake. You understand nothing. You understand only haphazardly. Because you don't consider the opposite. And that's how the government will have always opposition. Without opposition, there cannot be any government.
Opposites are complementary to each, एक दूसरे के पूरक हैं.
Yes, complementary to each other. That's how the creation is created. You cannot go out of it. Now coming to our language, this primordial sound, it is the first vibration started, and this is known as projecting out, vichep, projecting out. Vibration means it has to go on changing. So our modern scientists, they give the theory of Big Bang theory. It starts from the sound. There was a blasting. That blast is nothing but this blast. Blast means the on vibrated the most we can say, of course it is beyond language. We try to say something. So it can be said the absolute equilibrium. When there started some so-called vibratory process, it is naturally there all the time, but it is not projected out. Just as the tendency of sprouting is hidden, is dormant in the seed. The sprouting tendency is dormant in the seed. It is always there, but it is not seen. The moment it is seen, we call it a sprout. That means starting of the creation. Starting of the creation. Now somewhat clear how the creation starts. And one more example I will give you. The bowel and the rod of our lamas, Tibetan lamas. In Buddhism, they give this theory by practical. How? There will be a bowel. It is made up of 8 elements, 8 metals. अष्टधातु का बना हुआ है 8 metals, and if you go on rounding a rod made up of also 8 metals,
alloy.
Yes. Go on moving the rod around the bowel, keeping it on the hand. Go on rounding the rod. Slowly, after a minute or so, you will be able to hear very subtle sound. That is Om. And it is created by the movement of the rod around the bowel. There is vibration. So that vibration is expressed in the form of sound. Understood now? Practical.
Om is natural or invented?
Natural.
It was an inherited tendency. primordial sound which came out.
Yes, inherited tendency in the absolute truth. Yeah, there is no heritage, so the word inherited is meaningless there because there is no heritage.
It was a Chodaitri in absolute singularity.
It is the nature of the absolute. That's why it is called nature. Nature of the absolute. So it goes on grossifying and taking some sound, shape and name, some forms and names. So it starts from the creator, goes on multiplying. So these are called five gross elements, and they go on mixing with each other in different ratios. Panchikaran, we say it, and then all these forms are made and names are given. Forms are also from the sound itself. The same sound makes the form and the name. Don't forget this subtlemost point. The same sound, because it is a vibration. How it happens? Look at the ocean. Go to the seashore and see when the waves they clash against each other, bubbles are created. When the bubbles die out, they make some foam and they dry up and slowly they get solidified and some, we call it tongue of the sea, some solid forms we will get in the seashore. See how these bubbles, waves clashing against each other, bubbles are created. Bubbles are made into foam, and foam they get solidified. This is how the waves, sound waves, they create the solid forms. Understood now?
Swamiji, a couple of questions also.
Yes. Thank you.
Swamiji, the question by Sharmaji from Australia.
Yes.
Puja, His Holy Highness Sri Swamiji understood Upanshu and Vaikari in relation to Jap Yoga. However, how to do Japa through Pashyanti and Para? I'll repeat it again.
Yes, I understood. You see, we have to go from the gross towards the subtle because we are gross. We live in the gross world and we believe in gross world. So from gross we have to go to the subtle. When you go on chanting mentally, Upanshu, slowly the japa stops and it takes the form of Pashyanti, and then it enters into Para, and then it stops altogether. Then meditation starts. So it is by the way, go on practicing, you will understand it by yourself. How to go or grow, same thing. From gross to the subtle. Go on doing, you will understand, you will experience it.
And what starts growing?
Huh?
What starts growing? From subtle to gross growing?
Yes. Both way it grows.
It is growth.
Subtle becomes a gross, that is also a growth.
Growth.
And gross becomes subtle, that is also a growth.
Big growth.
Growth?
Big unseen growth.
Yes. So what is the second question?
Swamiji, after
Yes.
Margaret ji will
Yes.
question.
So coming to our old question, our mother Margaret Mitiko, She asked the question which we discussed last time also. She pushed the question.
Shall I put the question?
Yes, again.
If everything in this world is a dream or an illusion, then how do we get the motivation to live every day?
Of course. If now she has sent a mail, and in that also she repeats the same thing with little modification.
As we had also replied to her.
No, this is not replied yet. I was going to reply now. It is Friday, so we can reply it face to face. So she asked, I think about your example of the dream where things just go on. Dream, we don't have control over dream. Dream is an automatic process, we can say, but it is not automatic. It is by the resting mind. Mind creates the dream. When it rests, see, when you are not walking, you are not going outside, you are resting in the bed itself. You move your hands and legs or not. Movement is there, but you are resting. In the rest, there is movement, isn't it? When you are lying upon your bed, movement will be there. In that way, the mind rests while it is dreaming. It creates the dream out of itself. It never needs any support of outward gross objects, and it creates its own senses, because senses are, our so-called senses are gross form of 5 tanmatras. Tanmatras means 5 subtle units of the gross senses. The form is the unit of the eye, seeing, vision, and the sound is the form of the gross, the unit of the gross ear, which we hear. And the smell is the unit to measure to make the gross nose, it smells. And touch is the unit of the skin, and the sound is of the sky, that is the ear. In this way, all these 5 tanmatras. Taste is the unit for the tongue. In this way, the 5 subtle units to measure the gross senses, which are called the senses of knowledge, they are there in the mind. They have taken the gross form as the senses. Mind creates the senses in the womb of the mother. Mind creates, taking all the ingredients from the 5 elements. भूत, पंचभूतों से सार निकाल करके पंच तन्मात्रा को पंच इंद्रियों को बनाता है, मन बनाता है. मनः षष्ठानींद्रियाणि प्रकृति स्थानी कर्षति, प्रकृति से सार को आकर्षण करके ग्रहण करके वो सेंसेस जो इंद्रियों को बनाता है शरीर के साथ, क्योंकि शरीर काम करेगा तो इंद्रियों के माध्यम से करेगा काम. Yes, yes, I am aware. The mind takes the help of these 5 units and creates the 5 gross senses in the body for the future to activate, and takes the material from the 5 gross elements: the sky, air, fire, water, and earth. In this way, mind makes the gross senses and body also. And so also, while resting in the bed, it has some movement that is called the dream. And that dream is made by itself. Those 5 units are there in the mind. Mind creates all those forms out of itself and observes the dream elements or the names and forms by itself. It creates the dream out of itself. It observes the dream by itself. Everything is within itself. Just as the cocoon makes the cell outside it and gets inside. Just as the spider creates the network out of its own secretion and gets trapped in it. In this way, mind creates everything out of itself. It doesn't go out to collect materials. Materials is there in the mind. It creates the whole world. That's why it is called the creator. Mind is the creator, the universal mind, and that DNA is there in the individual mind. That's how the individual mind also dreams, and really speaking, the creator also is the dreaming. We are the dreamy objects of the universal mind, that is creator. We are the dreamy objects created by the creator. Dreamy objects, don't think you are something. That's how it is said by the great seers. We are nothing but puppets, robots. Without prana, this body cannot work. Or by the philosophical view, these great seers, they express it in their language. They say, Tat Srishtva Tadanuvisat. By creating all those forms, the creator entered into the forms in the form of activating process, that is prana, the energy. Just as we create the toys and put the pencil cells or any activating the toys, and we, by the remote, we control the toys. Toys are toys. They cannot do anything.
So mind has a tendency to activate his own world in the dream.
Yes.
By
That
virtue of
is
his-
called a dream. the whole world is dreaming in this way. You also dream. Your dream is individual dream, and the whole creation is nothing but the dream of the creator. So it is called mental. All of your mental cases. I am also included in you. Don't think I am something outside you.
Hariom Swamiji, this is one of the view, but it cannot be true always.
Pardon?
This is one of the view, but it cannot be true always.
Which is not true always.
We
This
are
dream.
all, we are, the moment you bring creator and you say that we are all part of his dream, then when who we are?
You are nothing. Your ID card is burnt out. Jnanagni dagdha karmani. Your ID I have thrown into fire.
That is your idea.
Accept it. You cannot go anywhere without accepting it. There is no other go.
But Swamiji, I have a freedom to ask who am I?
You are the absolute equilibrium.
Thank you.
Pardon?
That means thank you. I am the dreamer of myself.
Yes, you are dreaming. You are the dreamer. That is how the world is dreaming. What else? You are the dreamer. You are the dream. You are the dreamer. You are the dreamer. And you are observing yourself just as the mind dreams itself, within itself, creating itself in different names and forms. You are the dreamer.
So I am the creator of myself.
Yes. Manah sasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karsati. This is the meaning.
Then how come I can be, Swamiji, how can I be the object of the somebody else dream them?
Pardon?
How can I be the object of somebody else dream then? I am the dreamer of myself, my world. How can I be in the somebody else dream?
Then how can he be the object of the universal, as you told, na? We are the dreaming object of the universal dreamer.
Yes.
So he said, how can, when I am dreaming myself,
Yes.
how can I be the object of him for him to dream?
Are yaar. There is a dream in dream. And there is another dream in the dream of the dream. Everything is within itself. See, for example, if you have entered into a lens house, all the walls up and down, roof and floor, everything is covered by different size, different shape of different lenses, concave and convex. All the lenses are fixed all around. And you have entered into the lens house. How many
Images.
images you see, and where do you see the images? The images are within images. They are within their own images. Similarly, dream in dream. Can you not dream in dream? I have dreamt in dream. Everybody can dream. I was dreaming that I was a traveler. I was going somewhere and I was tired. I went to a stream, drank some water, and I was tired. There was a beautiful shady tree. I was resting there and I got asleep. And there I started dreaming. I was dreaming that I was dreaming. And in that dream also, I was dreaming. So 10 dreams can be within one dream. Is it impossible?
No. Okay.
So you are
I
the
think let's-
dream object of another dreamer, and don't think your so-called universal creator is not a dream object of some other dreamer. The absolute is dreaming the creator, which is dreaming yourself.
And I am dreaming the creator. And I am dreaming the creator, which is also true.
Call it truth or call it dream as you like, but it has got no basement.
No, Swamiji, just to put it again, two things you are telling. One is creator is dreaming me. Another one is I am dreaming creator. Both are true. That we should not forget.
Yes, yes. And both are dreaming each other also true. And each other are dreamt by another dreamer, that is also true. And that other dreamer is dreamt by other dreamer is true. There is no end to it. There is no beginning and end of the dream.
Swamiji, looks like you have watched the Inception movie.
I was about to give you an example that Inception is the right movie which is based on what Swamiji is telling.
My dear, you are dreamy object. You are a dreamer. You are dreamed object also, and you are dreamt by a dreamer, which is dreamt by another dreamer. It is Rath Parampara, means Rath Parampara. This is called in our philosophy language. Rath Parampara. It goes on in cycle, unending cycle. Unending cycle. This is called Sansar Chakra. The unending cycle. It goes on forever. It has got no beginning, no end.
So finally, Swamiji, you are accepting God created me, I created God. Both are true.
Yes, because the name, have you forgotten? The name of the God is called Medhajaha. Medhaj means which is born out of Medha. Medha means the universal mind. Medha. Universal starting of the mind. That is called Medha. Medha, Pragya, Dharana, Dhiti. All these are the name of the supreme power also and God also. God is created by you. Why do you hesitate to stay slow?
Fully agree, Swamiji. There is universal mind, there is unified mind. Unified mind and universal mind both are one and the same.
One are the same, only by imagination you have limited yourself, and just as the caterpillar has entered into the cell, you have entered into this body, so-called body, created by yourself. And day after tomorrow, we are going to discuss about this cell, house, or the puri, how this body is created. Individual as well as the universal body. How the creator is created. Or else it is if the creator is not created, how it can create the other creation? How it is created? We are going to discuss it day after tomorrow. Tomorrow is 15th August, so there cannot be any class. We shall celebrate the 15th August by hoisting flag and celebrating it. Tomorrow there will not be any class, and day after tomorrow we shall again come to this battlefield. how this body is created. This is the question from Rama to Vashistha ji, and Vashistha ji will explain. Okay, and now we have not.
One question. The person who is blind from birth. The person who is
Yes.
blind from birth. How does he see object like we see in them?
We shall discuss it afterwards. Now, our Margaret asked the question: if the whole universe is a dream, if it is a dream, then where is the question of sadhana? What to do as a practice, spiritual practice, or sadhana means your whatever you do for your upliftment, for your advance growth in spirituality. All these called practices, spiritual practices. Where is the need? Why should I? If nature does everything, everything is a dream, then where do I stand? Why should I do anything? And how to do anything? Why? How? And who will do anything? All these questions. These are very serious questions. Very serious questions. But of course, that day we have discussed so much, the last Friday. And yet it is a puzzle. It is not clarified. See, what should we, why should we study the scriptures? Do japa. Why should we do japa? Why should we perform pujas? Why should we strive to be good and do good? Why should I practice anything? Why should I practice? How should I practice? All these questions are very, very solid questions.
This was the same question of Partha also.
Yes, everybody puts the same question. If the nature does everything, why should I?
स्वामी जी ये क्वेश्चन नहीं था एक्चुअली क्वेश्चन है नेचर तो आपने उसको बड़े आंसर दिए अगर सब कुछ इल्यूजन है
Illusion was question. So illusion means nature. That is what you have misunderstood. Illusory process means it is called nature. Nature is illusory because it is ever changing. That's why it is illusion. And that is known as Maya. So now, coming to our this question, why should I do any sadhana? Be very, very attentive now. Sadhana is not doing only japa. This understanding is wrong understanding. Sadhana does not mean only doing japa or meditating or say study of the scriptures or do pujas or trying to be good or do good. They are sadhana. All these actions are repetition of these practices is known as sadhana, no doubt. But this is not only the practice. This is not only which is called sadhana. Sadhana also is to accept this. I have to do nothing. This acceptance is the highest sadhana. Be careful. Be attentive to understand this point. If you have accepted nature does everything, I have to do nothing. That is the highest sadhana that leads you to Naiskarmya Siddhi. You cannot do anything. That is what is wanted. Doing means creating something. And every action will have reaction. Then we come to we come to transfer or to modify action into inaction. Karma ko akarma mein badalna. If you are doing something, you are the actor, you are the doer. So don't be the doer. How to become non-doer? All these questions come then only when you do something. If you don't do anything, there is no question. You are beyond everything. There is no question of doing or why to do or how to do. No question at all. There is no need. Accept it. And acceptance is called the highest sadhana. This acceptance. Once you have accepted it, it says your acceptance is second by the so-called your outer world.
So with this acceptance has to be in a very trained mind, no?
Trained mind, repeated mind. This is to be conformed and strengthened.
Validated by the trained mind. For which
Yes.
we do the sadhana, japa and
That
everything.
is called sadhana. So if you cannot, then you have to do all this. There is no other go. If you cannot accept conformably, doubtlessly, clearly, then you have to do all this. This is also sadhana. To have that confirmation, to have that 1 second faith that nature does everything. Let nature do or not do. Why do we bother then? No botheration. No need of any doing any sadhana.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om.
There is a difference between doership and doing. Are you asking us to let go of doing or asking us to let go of doership?
The whole world is within the triads. These triads are based upon the absolute truth. Triads, Triputi. The doer, doing process, and the done object. These are called triads. They arise from the absolute truth. They remain for some time in the truth and they dissolve in the truth. Just as the waves are seen on the surface water, they are pulled by the water, they subside in the water. In the same way, this doership and doing ship and done ship, all these three ships. Doer, I am the doer, and my senses are doing the process, and something is the result of our process, that the conclusion, that the performance that becomes the object. So 3 stages or 3 phases of the same thing. Wave is created by another wave and sustained by another wave and subsides in the other wave. That is called the surfacial water. So this doer, doing, done, they are one and the same. They appear to be three different aspects of one only. The doer does the work by itself. Doing process is not somewhere else. If I am the doer, I am means the body. Generally, we identify ourselves as the body. I am the body. So body, if body is the doer, body also does the action by its limbs, senses do the action. And what is done, whatever is done, it is for the within the senses, within the reach of the senses only. If the hand eats, it eats for itself. Indriyani indriyarthevya vartanta iti dharayan. The senses do the actions for sense sake. So, if it is conformed, it is accepted, then who is the doer now? The doer itself is doing by itself, and the done object is also in itself. If I scratch myself, the scratcher and the scratching process and scratch the skin, everything is in my body only. So it is done in one, hold by one, and everything is within one. It subsides in the one only. Karta, karma और क्रिया, ये सब परमात्मा का स्वरूप में दिखता है सिर्फ. If I am the doer, I am also the done, and I am also the doing process. They are not different from each other, but it is seen as different from each other. So this is how, if you can understand this fact and accept it conformly, that you are not the senses, you are not the body, you are not the doer, then matter ends there. All the questions are solved there. No more questions.
Swamiji, just I asked this question only because without action, nobody can be there even for a moment.
Yes.
If I stop,
and side by side it is said, Prakritehe kriyamanani gunehi karmani sarvasa. So, who is the doer? If you say, I am the doer, then you have to reap the result.
That is not true.
That is not the truth. You are not the doer.
It depends on which
And
angle
if
you are
you
holding it.
accept you are the doer, you cannot keep quiet without doing anything for a moment. Then only. Understood now?
yes,
If
Swamiji,
you are the doer, you cannot keep quiet.
Swamiji, I understood. I asked this question mainly because the question from that Mataji, why should I do sadhana? Okay. She wants to stop sadhana, not stop doership. That is where the problem.
Yes. And sadhana also, I explained it, acceptance of this truth, this fact is also the highest sadhana. That if you do, then all these these subsidiary sadhanas, supporting sadhanas you need not do. This japa and this reading of the scriptures or practicing something, they help you for this confirmation. In the end, you achieve this point only, that I am not the doer.
So this could be the answer to the madam, no?
Yes,
Sadhana
this
is
is the
it is a practice.
sadhana. Acceptance itself is sadhana. That is highest sadhana. If you have not done that, then these subsidiary sadhanas you have to do.
This could be motivation to do
Yes.
live every day.
If you have not achieved the doctorate qualification, if you have not got the doctorate, क्या कहते हैं उसको? Degree.
PhD.
Then you have to go through all these diploma and all these graduation process, or all these process you have to go through. Doctorate is in the end.
This gives you the motivation for you to do.
Yes, all these are just steps. If you have gone to the terrace, then you need not again go through the staircase. So where do you start? Come on, ask me, tell me.
That means until I accept 100%, I am supposed to do sadhana.
Yes, that is clear. Unless you have reached the terrace, you have to go through the staircases.
And that could be the motivation for everything.
Yes.
Scriptures are they declare the
They
outcome.
are the steps.
Scriptures declare the outcome result.
Yes.
And the sadhana is the process to reach there.
Yes. This is
Hariom Swamiji.
Hariom.
Param Swamiji, can we say that because we don't accept 100%, that is why we have to do sadhana? Let us say, because due to the prarabdha, we individuals maybe having some exceptions, maybe let us say 0 to 99. That is why we are born. If we are 100%, so what we are doing is, as a part of Atam Kripa, we are bringing that level which we already got from 0 to 99 to make it 100%. And when we are 100%, then there is no need for sadhana. Is that correct?
Correct. 100% correct.
Thank you, Swamiji.
You have understood the matter.
Ati Kripa Swamiji.
When you have secured 100%, then there is no need of going through all these education system.
Swamiji, those who have achieved 100%, they will not be joining the Yogosis class.
So you have to do. You have to do all those sadhana. Go on by the process. There is no other way out. You have to do.
शर्मा जी ने क्या बोला आप बता देंगे मैं हम लोग समझ नहीं पाए.
हाँ, can I repeat it?
Yes, why not?
Yeah, because we as individuals, these bodies, we are having some acceptance, let us say from 0 to 99%.
Yes.
But because we are not still 100%, and Prabhu Swamiji mentioned, we need to bring that level up. And because we accept that everything is done by nature, and this is a Trigunatmak sort of things, we are increasing our sattva to make it 100%. And we are 100%, then probably, I mean, we may ignore so-called sadhana. I mean, we may still need to do some work, but I think what we call mumukshut, or so our, I guess, only thing is we have to do sadhana just to make it 100%.
Yes. If it is 100%, there is no question. If it is less than 100%, you have to make it 100%. That's all. And how much you have secured, you know. You have to decide it. Where do you start? Thank you. But today, I think, yes, I think everything is clear. If it is not clear, 100 times we can repeat it to confirm it. Never mind. I am ready. I am ready. I can repeat it 100 times.
Only final thing, Swamiji, this acceptance is also
Acceptance, I gave you the example. See, you know this is called spec, and if you understand it, that also is not enough. You have to use it, accept it, and use it, be it. That is called being good and doing good. Without that, your understanding is good for nothing. Good for nothing. Useless. Till then, you have to go on by the process. Sadhana, we call it. Do whatever you like, do whatever you like. Speak the truth, practice ahimsa, non-violence, or help others, serve others, love others, feel for others, live at present, minimize your outward extrovertness, withdraw your mind, practice concentration, practice pranayam. All these are different steps.
मैं बोलूंगा राधे श्याम
Yes, मैं बोलूंगा सियाराम.
राम
बोलना पड़ेगा. Thank you for today. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Sabda Brahma ki jai. Saraswati Maharani ki jai. Yoga Vashistha Bhagavan ki jai. Hare Om.